Hi, I'm John with Focusrite, and in this video series, I'm going to use the Focusrite Scarlett Solo and the plugins included with the Hitmaker Expansion bundle to build a track from scratch, taking a rough song idea to a polished mix. In the previous video, I added a bass part using Ableton Sampler and a loop from Splice for the bridge. Now, I'm going to mix the track using the plugins included in the Hitmaker Expansion, primarily the Focusrite Red plugin suite and Brainworx BX Console Focusrite SC. Red 2 and 3 plugin suite features a pair of meticulously captured digital models of the truly iconic EQ and compressor, which have made the Focusrite name a staple in world-class facilities across the globe, while BX Console Focusrite SC is modeled after the original Focusrite large format console and features a full channel strip with an EQ, compressor, limiter, and more. I'm going to start by using the tab key to switch to live session view where I can see a larger version of the mixer. I'll be switching between these two views throughout the mixing process. Before adding any plugins, I'm going to use only volume faders and panning to create a balanced mix from scratch. When setting the levels, it's important to make sure the master bus has plenty of headroom, so I will aim for a peak level of around -6 dB with an average level just around -18 dB. This will leave space in the mix for turning up tracks later on and for processing during the mastering phase.
You say you'll always just let it go, but there's no need to pretend.
For panning, I'll leave the distorted guitars panned opposite and do the same with the clean parts in the verse. I'll also pan the two background vocal parts opposite while leaving the main vocal up the middle. The individual drums are already mixed inside Addictive Drums 2, but volume, panning, and processing adjustments can be made from the edit page. I'm going to turn up the hi-hat a few dB here. I'm also going to turn down the 6K boost on the kick drum to de-emphasize the clicky part of the sound just a bit. Now that the mix is balanced, I'll start to add some plugins for further processing. I'll leave the drum track as is since there's already EQ and compression processing happening within Addictive Drums. For the keys part, I'm going to load the Grand Piano preset from Focusrite Console SC. The EQ settings bring out the high end and remove some of the mud from the lower mids. I'm also going to engage the compressor to tame the peaks at the beginning of each chord and bring out the sustain. It's important to adjust the threshold for the amount of compression desired. I'm going to use the Focusrite Red 2 EQ on my distorted guitar tracks. For the first one, I'm using the electric rhythm guitar preset, which rolls off the very low end and adds some lower mids for warmth. The doubled track has a warmer tone from the guitar's neck pickup, so I'm going to use the Red 2 to roll off the very low frequencies and add a high shelf for clarity. The distorted sounds from the Marshall Silver Jubilee are not very dynamic to start with, so I won't be adding any compression on these guitars. For the strum to clean guitar part in the verse, I'll load the clean strum preset from Focusrite Console SC, which brightens up the tone a bit and adds some light compression. For the arpeggiated guitar part, I'll use the Red 3 compressor to squash it using the electric guitar lead preset, which will keep each string pluck from sticking out too much in the mix. The synth bass part already has a nice clean tone, so I'll just use the electric bass preset on the Red 3 to smooth out the dynamics a bit. Before processing the vocals, I'm going to take a minute to cut out the portions where I'm not singing to get rid of any breaths and other background noise. I'll use the background vocal preset from Focusrite Console SC for both backing tracks, which will add some high-end clarity. I'll be generous with the compression to keep the volume consistent throughout the sustained notes. For the lead vocal, I'll also use Focusrite Console, this time with a male vocal 2 preset. The EQ introduces a boost in the lower mids for warmth, while the upper mid and highs are boosted for intelligibility. The vocal part is often the most dynamic part of the mix and will require a generous amount of compression. The lower ratio on this preset and the transparent sound of this compressor allows me to set an aggressive threshold, with gain reduction being applied to all but the absolute quietest parts of the tape.
Said the word when you asked me not to, but
When compression isn't enough to keep volumes level, automation can be used in live to adjust volume and other parameters during playback. Simply press the A key to display automation, choose your parameter, and draw the envelope in as needed. I'm going to fade this last word of the verse under the harmony part for the chorus. I can also see and adjust the auto-tune-retune speed adjustment I made while recording vocals. Reverb has already been applied to the vocals and lead guitar parts using Relab LX480 Essentials, and I can change the levels or add instruments by using the Send A knob for each channel.
I did it again.
I can also control the overall volume of the reverb return on the mixer.
I did it again. Said the word when you asked me not to, but
Let's do a quick comparison to hear how far the mix has come. Here's what we had at the end of the previous video.
there's no need to pretend that I've done everything you've asked me to. Yeah, and it falls right back to it's falling back to you.
And here is our current mix.
There's no need to pretend that I've done everything you've asked me to. Yeah, and it falls right back to it's falling back to you.
Now that the track is mixed, it's ready for the final mastering stage. In the next video, I'll master the track using Lander Studio to finalize the volume levels and overall tone.